This is so exciting. So I know a lot of you have been asking me, who is this right-hand man? Monica Artrip. She has been with me since the beginning. We've known each other.
7 years.
Oh my gosh, has it really been 7 years? Holy cow.
Yeah.
So this has been quite the journey with Monica, and I wanted to introduce you guys to her so you can have a beautiful face for who this person is every time I say right hand man, because to be honest, without the team and this cohesiveness and this working together, none of this would be happening. And so I want to thank you, darling, for being on this journey with me.
Thank you.
And I want to, couple of people have been asking, some of these terms, they're a little over my head. And sometimes I might say something in maybe 2 or 3 sentences that, it's a lot of information to be taking in. And I mentioned in the previous live earlier today that you have a gift for taking this complication and creating
Simplifying.
simplification. I mean, it's just a wonderful gift the way you simplify it.
Thank you.
So tell us, darling, on your spiritual journey and coming to the space. I mean, you've even had an experience like me, I did just beforehand coming to this moment. Tell us a little bit about how you came to this understanding and what helped you on your journey.
First off, it's nice to meet you, everybody. I don't get to go live often, so it's very, awesome to be here, and thank you for having me on, Denny. As far as simplifying, it's kind of just going with it, kind of just sitting, observing. Oh, she's saying this, now how can I apply it to my life? And that's going to be different for every single person. So again, it's, we're all on the spiritual journey. It's taking pieces and pieces and pieces, and then eventually creating our own bridge, and it's going to look different for everybody. So one thing, there's a few things. Let me open my notes here so I can at least stay kind of on track, because I am a distracted person, and that is okay. I love my human. Okay, so first off, we're going to start. I'm going to post in the comments. I have got a EFT map for you, because I'll be completely honest, tapping here on the heart space didn't work for me at first. I had a lot of stuff to clear out of my head, and I think this meridian up here had to be like, you got to clear this out, and then you can clear this out, and then this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So there are other places that you guys can tap. So let's get that real quick.
Oh, how wonderful. So exciting.
Nice to meet you, Bianca. All right, that is in the comments for you. I had to scroll up because the delay, so hopefully this is, will we need a compass? You are your compass.
You are.
Your body will show you exactly what you need to clear out. So examples, your family and your husband and your children and your mothers-in-laws, fathers-in-laws, brothers, sisters, they're going to be your biggest mirror because they are so close to you, okay? They are going to be your biggest aha because they are going to show you exactly what you need to clear out in yourself. My children, I've had a lot of tapping with them, especially here in the heart space, because, this is where my body tells me to. But, just even talking to them brings up a lot for me. Yes, I absolutely love my children, but it brings up a lot with my childhood. So just even talking to them, my heart space tells me. Talking to my husband, I feel like it's a lot up here because he's a very logical person and thinks differently with me. So up here, my body tells me, tap up here, up here, up here. So this map will help you show other places. Some of them are going to be tender. Some of them are going to tell you exactly what you need. So just listen to that. That you are your compass. Okay.
And Rowan says, I was being a bit facetious there, but yes, I mean, it is like a map, of the spaces, the spots that you can tap on and you can experiment on yourself. So you mentioned that, the heart space wasn't always working for you. Were there other spaces that were working for you? And was there something in particular that made that space work?
Believing that it was a big one for me. getting over the fact that I felt completely ridiculous. Am I going crazy tapping on my face right now? Because, you start, you allow the energy. So transitioning from the, I feel absolutely crazy right now, to like, that's totally fine. Who isn't? So just allow that energy, allow your emotions to, to come up, because they will. And that's one thing that I also kind of discovered is when I would tell myself, even though I feel this, I felt like I was still suppressing. Kind of like when you're upset and you go talk to a manager, and a manager's like, well, I hear your concerns, but this is how it's going to go. So I wasn't really allowing myself to feel every little bubble that would come up. So I started talking it all out. Oh my gosh, what is this? What am I even feeling? I don't know what this is. How am I going to get past this? And literally having conversations with myself to allow myself to feel it. And it wasn't to necessarily have the need or control to identify what was going on with me. It was just to have a conversation with myself, to like, oh, that's what that is. That's why this is coming up for me. So, just talk it out. Just talk it out and allow yourself to feel every bubble, even if it's like, ugh, what is that? What is this feeling that I have going on? And even if you have no idea what to say, keep tapping on it. And then sit, like Denny says, sit in the stillness. And
All you have to
basically,
do is become aware of the feeling. You don't have to
yes,
identify it, as long as you're looking at it and say, even though I'm feeling this and I don't know what it is, it's there, I feel it, and acknowledge it. That right there puts you in such a powerful space. And
yeah.
so you helped with developing all of this and putting this together, and with creating this framework. Any suggestions for this as, the foundation of, first of all, starting and treating your awakening like a scientist? How did that help you during this process? Because you're talking about, okay, here comes that stuff. You're already aware of it. So that means you had to get to a point of becoming aware. What helped you get to that point?
Um, that's just a really good question. What helped me get to that point is um, being okay with it, I think. Being okay with that I am feeling this way, and even though I don't want to, it's okay that I am. And just exercising that awareness, be like, oh, there that is again, and just keep exercising it and exercising it, because the more that you do, the more that you are, the more that you can release it. So though I may have, less anxiety attacks, less depression episodes, stuff like that, I'm also still getting some pretty deep rooted stuff up and out. So, I mean, even with Denny saying, here I am, I'm feeling a 9 right now. Okay, I accept that. And even just accepting that, you move down, tapping on it. All right, we're going down, we're going down. And then the more you go through that process, the more it just moves right on out. So I mean, it's powerful and profound to exercise that awareness. Getting to becoming aware, if that's grammatically correct, that's definitely something that this program, Transurfers Mastermind, will help you implement, because it's not just a, oh, I get it now. It's a, is that what this is? Okay, cool. I am on the right track. Denny, is this what this is? Okay, yes, I understand. And building that foundation, because there's cracks in everyone's foundation. So let's help fill those cracks and become more sturdy. And, you have
Exactly.
that validation. So
Exactly. And Bianca saying, this is so interesting. Physical tapping, releasing emotions, still kind of in awe. So remember, emotion, and we learned this in day 2, where we talked about Energy 101 lab, where emotion is energy in motion. So if you're a complete circuit and there's some kind of energy stuck there, we tap on it. This kind of flushes electrical impulses through your circuits to release it, so it gets it moving. So sometimes our emotion might be felt in the lower back, even though I'm having this lower back feeling and it's painful and I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden it might move to the stomach. I'm feeling icky in my stomach. I've worked with people doing this with cranial sacral therapy, and they're on the table, and then all of a sudden they'll have this big giant belch, and then, wow, it just released. I feel so much better. So the body is going to find a way to release this excess potential, this excess energy. And then what's most important, because we have a tendency to go right back to it, what's most important is you stay in the stillness to create some space between this movement and you grabbing onto it, identifying with it, becoming it. Oh my gosh, all the chaos. And instead, you stay back, become more of the observer of what's going on and allowing it to go through you rather than you creating resistance in the body and actually making the energy short circuit even more unconsciously aware of that. And so sometimes, like, you brought out, there's some old stuff that's coming up, and if we don't deal with that, if we keep spiritually bypassing, this is true spiritual bypassing, if we keep pushing it back down, no, I'm only going to go to my happy place, only my happy place, and not deal with this energy that's trying to come to the surface, we energetically push it back down. This becomes a pendulum because it's going to show up in your external experience if we don't deal with it. Inside, it's going to show up in your relationships, it's going to show up in your business, it's going to show up in your school, it's going to show up in your work, it's going to show up because somebody else is going to see that button and they're going to go press, and then you have a choice. You react and go with it, identify with it, or you respond like, oh, something's coming up. What is this? I'm going to tap on it, even though I'm feeling this, even though I want to react to this person, telling them what is and what isn't, and coming into my human, identifying with it and becoming offended or whatever, reactive to it, even though I'm wanting to do these things, I choose to stay. And so no response is a response.
Yeah.
It's a choice. And so when there were some times where we would have our mastermind meetings and, we went through a lot of stuff together, didn't we? But there were some times where we went through, hey, sweetie, through our mastermind meetings, and we made some wonderful realizations on how this energy works. Any kind of resistance that either came up between us, there have been resistance that's come up between us. We go inside, I work on it myself, and you come back to this space of the solutions showing itself, problems solving themselves. So can you share a little bit of your aha moments when it came to understanding how this energy works, and maybe include a little bit of that phase of penduluming, and maybe becoming aware of when you found yourself going off on pendulums that you may have been feeding, becoming aware of those. Oh man. Yeah.
So Denny's absolutely right. Everything that you have inside is going to show up everywhere. Everything is your mirror. And that's actually kind of what happened at 11 when I was supposed to go live. Things are popping up and my energy was like, look at all this stuff that you got to take care of. So I had to. So I do apologize for being late. I do feel much better. Everything's okay now because I had to work it out. So it's just, this is amazing work. It's really profound. My my brain is going everywhere. Denny, can you simplify your question and repeat it for me?
Yeah, let's talk about when you first started to identify the phase of penduluming, when you started to become more connected to this precious gift that we talk about.
Okay, so becoming aware of your most precious gift and penduluming. At first, I didn't identify with much of these transurfer vocabulary, but whenever it's feeding into everything. And that's when I became aware, oh, that's what this is I am feeding into this anger. Oh, I am feeding into this anxiety. Just becoming aware of how, this is your most precious gift because it is your energy. You are investing your energy into things that you either do or do not want. So even subconsciously, if I'm investing into this priority, but this priority happens to be giving me anxiety, how can I invest into this differently? What about this that I do find important is draining me. Well, let's fix that one spot. Let's fix this one piece. So that's why it is your most precious gift, is because it is, energy exchange, your investment, your time, everything, your essence. It's either going to help build you up or it's going to help tear you down. So that's why it's your most important gift. And that's why it's, very important to become aware of, I do love this, but this about it is starting to drain this out of me. So what can I do differently to avoid that?
And that's how you fix, because you talked about, I would fix this one thing. How you fix is reframe in how you ask the question. And
Yes.
so you just ask the question differently. And a wonderful example of this, and one of the first things I notice in working with a lot of people is they will say, well, why does this always happen to me? Why do I always draw the narcissist? Why do I, do this? And we go back and fix it by reframing the question, because
Yes.
our questions are a formula to the universe. We send this formula to the universe, and the universe sends us the answers to our questions, especially questions when there's emotion behind it.
Yes.
So it's going to send you more of this. So this concept, being a young mom just turning 31, what would you tell other young moms just turning 31 with 2 little ones at home?
It's okay. Just chill out. Go play. Go play. Anything that you're doing can wait. And also when you are asking, what can I do? How can this day get any worse or anything like that? Reframe your question. That's a huge one here. One thing that I definitely discovered is, instead of asking how I can do things better, I'm doing my best. I'm doing the very best I can. Yes, you are, but you are also subconsciously planting a seed that you're not. So how can I do things differently? And then step into that power. Envision yourself becoming this person that you see that you want to be. And then ask yourself, what can I do differently to get there? And slowly but surely, with your trained awareness, you will start to slowly and surely step into becoming this person. So that was a big one for me this year. Definitely.
And you brought up a really important point. You said trained awareness. So what did you do to train this awareness? How did you train this part of you?
Listen. Listen, just observe your surroundings, understand that everything you're seeing is a reflection of your own energy if it bubbles you. So say somebody comes at you, like you've been talking about, somebody comes at you and they're pushing your buttons. If you don't react, that means that you don't identify with anything that they're doing. Awesome. But if you react and have even just the slightest of bubble, that means part of you believes it's true. So listening to that little bubble, like, oh, I feel it. Okay, I see that either you're going to react a lot or you're going to react a little. Listen to all of it, even a little bit, littlest bubble. Listen to it, and tap on it. Be like, I don't think I respond to that. I don't feel like I, related to that person or identified with anything they're doing, but it triggered me. So let's figure out why, and tap on everything, any point, and it will come up for you. Either you're going to identify or you won't. But as long as you set your intention of, I don't want to feel that way, or whatever affirmation or intention that you set for yourself in that moment, just listen to that. Just be like, oh, okay, listen to your instincts.
So when you say bubble, are you referring to like feeling some kind of resistance inside, or something that's blocking you or stopping you from moving forward? Is that what you mean by bubble?
What I mean by bubble is because I don't know if it's a resistance. I don't know if it's a limitation. I don't know what it is a lot of the time, but I feel the energy rise. I feel the energy move. I feel something happening. And I'm sure that anybody can identify with it. Whether it's a resistance, I don't know. If it's a limitation, I don't know. But you feel that little spark of something happening inside yourself. That's the bubble that I want you, because it's bubbling, right? Sometimes it bubbles just a little bit. Sometimes you explode, right? So it's like a bottle of wine. You shake it, and or it doesn't.
Very cool. So anybody have any other questions for Monica? Because you've been on this journey with me and creating this and being able to put simplified words to things. And if anybody has any questions about pendulums, penduluming, energy 101, how you are a complete circuit. I know that I have children that are in between the age of Monica. I have one child who's older and one child who is just younger. So it's the generation that they call millennials. And millennials, I encourage you to find your purpose and your joy. So Monica, I'd love for you to share how you have discovered this part of your journey, your purpose and your joy in finding this, because I work and see so many young people your age in such a place where they're even thinking about checking out, or they're doing things to themselves that, is not the best for them. So being in that age group, what would you tell others to find that space?
You are important. You are here, even if you don't see the reason, you're here for a reason. Whether that reason be you smiled at the right person on the right day and saved their life, you may never know your reason. And that's okay. As long as you keep searching for the light and you keep being the light. So, even I've wanted to check out. Not recently, but I've definitely been that low. And the only advice that I have for you is continue to search for that light and continue to be that light, because you never know what happens behind other people's closed doors. But giving yourself to, that energy of love, giving yourself to that energy of uplifting and empowering will in return do that for you. You just have to change your questions. You just have to, sit within yourself and be like, hey, we're okay today. Hey, you know what? I am important. You know what? I would like to do that today, and then go do it. Even if it's just, my teeth are a little bit bad, I should probably go brush them. I want to go brush my teeth. The littlest steps that you can do for yourself are the most biggest steps, because they are out of love and out of acceptance for where you are right now. And keep listening to those steps and keep taking them. Those eventually you'll start to climb up that ladder and climb back out of the hole that I'm not saying that you have dug, but your environment and the situations around you, sometimes you crawl back in and deeper, and then you start to get into that darkness. So start finding the light to find your way out, and it will start to become healthier, happier. You'll start to perk back up.
Exactly. And I love what you said. And it talks about being the light. If you think about a candle and a candle that lights another candle, there was literally no energy exchange, and you don't expect anything in return because there's nothing to give back, right? So when you're lighting other candles, you only make the place brighter and brighter and brighter. And so one thing that you can start doing right now, right with the people closest to you, is how can I serve, and without expecting anything in return. And so within this act of service, you're going to discover your joy and your passion, and that is going to show itself through service. And so many of young people, I see so many of you going to colleges, getting $80,000 to $100,000 in debt in a degree, and then getting a job for $30,000 to $35,000. This is such a, in my heart, it's such a waste of a person, because there's something in you, in your purpose. And this is where, you literally put your heart in a box, and it's all in the head. Okay, now I have this $80,000 in debt. I got to go work it off. I have no future. More and more people. Cycle. It is a vicious cycle, and it's a cycle that has to stop. But we need another way. And in order for the solution to show itself, you have to come into this space of healing. And so you and I working this together and going through this, as soon as one of us has like an opening or a healing, boom, the solution's right there.
Oh yeah,
it's always been there. Yeah.
Like, why didn't we think of that before? Oh, we were too in it.
We were too much in it. Yep. And so when you discover this is your superpower. This is your superpower. When you understand how to activate this part of you, how to create an image, because this unconscious and the superconscious do not communicate with words. They communicate with images, with emotion behind it. And then this image and emotion behind it is going to show your higher self, is going to show you the next logical step. And sometimes it might not feel like it's the next logical step. Sometimes it might feel like you're going in the opposite direction. But in order for your energy to shift, you have to shift it first.
You got to clear it out and shift it. You got to clear out so it can shift.
Exactly. And that was, I knew something was going on when you sent me a message, clearing. I said, all right, something's going on. Let's just let the dust settle. Let's just let the work happen. You know, if we go on late, we go on late. It is what it is.
So thank you for being here, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So it all works out in the end. And what's most important is that you got the message, and that others watching, there might be a light bulb, a fire lit within them. And sometimes we don't have words to express this, but I love your ability to put words to it. And so if you guys want to check out, Monica helped design our landing page for our Transurfers Mastermind. It is our paid program. We have a couple options for you, and we have a full scholarship. So I was supposed to announce that yesterday. So again, something went wrong, but you know what? It's imperfect action. So Monica has the winner to our scholarship. So we're going to do that probably next, but I want to get a couple questions.
Yes.
35 myself, I don't feel 35. Yeah, 35 was a transformational age for me. It was on my 35th birthday that I got the call from the doctor that I had stage 4 malignant melanoma. Yeah, this was a very powerful age for me. My sister got into so much student debt that she could have bought a house, and she's not even working at all because she's our mother's full-time caregiver. Yeah, and so what a position to be in, not being able to pay that off. And sometimes those student loan payments, I know somebody that as soon as they get a job, they start garnishing their wages $750 a month, because I think they're in $110,000 debt for student loans.
I'm in 10 grand in debt for two classes.
So this is a very defeating cycle to be in. And so if we're coming into already money issues, we're kind of stuck in that cycle. So if you're in that cycle now, there's definitely things that we can work on to pay those off, or find a way to pay those off. And so we work on these things in what it is you need in the mastermind, and transurfing to this reality that you want to create. So even if you do have the student loans, we're going to work on the most efficient and effective way to pay that off, because we don't want to be carrying, it's kind of like carrying emotional baggage with you, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a very heavy burden to carry with you. So we're going to work on ways, and we don't know what those are. It could be somebody looking to pay off somebody's loans. It could be a job, whereas if you do the job for so long, the corporation pay. There are ways you can do it, but we have to get clear with your focus, aim, and purpose. And then we have to take these steps toward the goals you want to achieve. And part of those goals and achieving is completely transurfing your reality. Very good. And so you've had experiences where, do you have any experiences you want to share where you've transurfed, like something just came up into your experience?
So I'll just add on to the money. Money is energy, guys. And I've found a lot, especially this past, quarter, business is broken up into quarters. This past quarter has been huge. So like I said, money is energy. And a lot of times we put limitations on money because, we've been in some bad positions, right? I've been almost homeless. Okay. If it wasn't for my husband when we first got together, I would be homeless. There are some emotions tied to the essence of money. So when you start to identify, remove, unblock, and let that energy clear, and just realize that money is fake. Money is monopoly money. We create more all the time. There's an abundance of. So when you start to remove those blockages and remove those limitations, it starts flowing in. All right. Like this has been the biggest quarter of my business thus far. And 2020, my guides and just everything coming to me is like, this is how you can make more. All I had to do was remove those limitations and start to listen to what was coming to me. The universe does want to provide. You just have to get rid of your gunk and start making room for it to come in. So that was a huge one. There was one example of another client that I work with, and she was like, well, I can't manifest because I have to heal all these things. I was like, you are manifesting. You are subconsciously manifesting, but by thinking that you can't, you're limiting yourself to not. So you're getting all these, extra burdens, extra emotions, extra things instead of stepping into your power because you have these limitations that you think you can't do this when you already are.
And on a physics level, what this looks like is I can't. So you start a complete circuit of I can't. So anytime you get to a point where you can, it actually pushes it away from you. It creates this excess potential to push exactly what you want away from you. And this is where we identify when you're creating this excess potential and when you're working with the law of attraction. You say, yes, I'm focusing on this. I really want this. This is my number one priority. So we're putting more and more potential on it, which means we're giving weight to it. So what's happening unseen on the other side is we're creating this excess potential. So excess potential will boom, balance it out, and you don't get it. And so I've had so many people tell me law of attraction doesn't work. But if we understand how these unseen forces work, and these unseen forces work with guilt and shame. So if you have unresolved guilt and shame, this guilt and shame is going to keep you in your comfort zone. Anytime that you get to a point where you're about to succeed, something's about to happen, usually this point feels uncomfortable. But because we have triggers that we haven't dealt with, anytime we get to that point of being uncomfortable, the trigger pulls us back into our comfort zone. And so we self-sabotage ourselves. So how many times have we experienced this with each other? It's like, okay, well, there was definitely some self-sabotage going on there. Yeah. And then we work through it. Very good. I'm very lucky that I managed to get my student debt forgiven, but that was a several-year process. Good on you. Good on you for having that opportunity. What a blessing. Sometimes it can be difficult to know these things intellectually, but not really understand how to do it on an emotional, spiritual level because it just hasn't fully clicked. So how can we simplify this as being like either a true or false statement? And one thing that we've learned to ask ourselves am I moving from this space of coherence? Mm-hmm. Am I moving from my heart center? What is check in with the heart? And this takes time. That means you got to push okay, guys, you got to give me 24 hours to make any kind of decision. Give yourself the time, because what we tend to do is now.
Especially people pleasers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, especially people pleasers. Good point. So it's now. Oh, yes, I can do that for you. And then you figure it out later.
And then all of a sudden you're like, and then give yourself the space.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so sometimes it can be difficult to know these things intellectually. And so you don't have to know it intellectually. What we're trying to get you to do is train you to connect to your awareness. So if you are connected or not, just ask yourself, am I connected to awareness? And so if you know you're not, that means intellectually you're in your head. You want to know the how, you want to know the why, you want to know steps A, B, and C, and D before you get even moving step A. Whereas when you're in the heart mind coherence frequency, you're taking the next step, and you might even be saying to yourself, wow, things are happening and I'm not even trying to do anything. Wow, so many things are happening without hardly any effort on my part. So this is when you know you're moving from this space of coherence.
So that kind of answers the question for you, Rowan. I suppose this can apply from anything to pet peeves from more serious issues. Absolutely. Like road rage. Oh my God, this person is cutting me off, and now I don't. Oh, go ahead. give them that space, because you create that space. Go ahead, cut in front. If you're going to be in a hurry, let me make it safe for both of us. So you come to a position of not being triggered by these pet peeves, except for wash. That, Denny, I cannot get rid of that pet peeve of wash instead of wash.
Okay, so Warsh is a Southern Illinois thing. If you live below 80, which 80 kind of cuts Illinois almost in half. If you live below 80, they think they're the South. They're probably going to get mad at me, but they think they're the South. And so they say, instead of saying wash, they say warsh. I have to do the warsh. And so I asked somebody one time, how do you spell that? She kind of went, what? But anyway, that's just a pet peeve.
Yeah.
It's of living in that area, and how those people say a particular word or particular words. Too funny. Okay. I have done that when someone asked me to make a big decision on the spot. I told them I couldn't answer until I had time to think about it. Good on
Good for you.
Yeah, that's stepping into your boundaries. And them crossing your boundaries is kind of forcing you to make a decision. It's only going to be available now, and you can only act now, and blah, blah, blah now, and the price is going to go up now. Yeah, take the time to, and the offer will be there later, or even a better offer will show up, or a free offer, or something will show up that is much more of a vibrational match. Because I find that when I say no to situations, things open up even more. Definitely. Very good. Does this happen accidentally sometimes? Well, are there accidents, darling? Or maybe synchronicities is another word. Yeah, absolutely. Like not being aware that you are creating coherence. Yeah, if you're like humming along, vacuuming the house and everything's just going hunky-dory and you're in a good place, and then all of a sudden you get a phone call and just this wonderful, you're pleasantly surprised, right? That's a synchronicity. Something was drawn to you because of your frequency. Because remember, we are sending and receiving transmitters. So science has found crystalline material in the brain, crystalline material in the heart. And when these frequencies come together, you create this frequency of coherence. And it's just a space of joy, bliss, nothingness, magic, everything. So wonderful. I understand I have pet peeves regarding certain words or pronunciations, and I know I have to work on that. There's nothing to fix, just recognize when you have them, thank them, nothing to fix.
I think mine's partly because, and it didn't trigger me then, it just kind of still gets to me because it was, programmed into my head to enunciate. I can remember, I see my mother's face, enunciate. So I think that's where mine comes from. It doesn't quite trigger me anymore. Now I'm just like, okay. And then I move on. Like before I'd be like, no, wash. And I would like get in conflict of trying to correct them and help them say it correctly. No, it's not that anymore. Now I'm just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, just ask them, how do you spell that?
Yep.
Very good. Are those the only two areas of the body that have crystals? I couldn't say. I've never done the research on that, and I work on connective tissue, and like bone spurs, those are actually calcified crystal. Bone spurs are not bones that are suddenly growing, but they're calcified, crystalline calcification. So when I work on connective tissue, I use gua sha. That's an ancient Tibetan therapy where it breaks down that connective tissue so that it reorganizes itself. So I guess a long answer to your question, it's possible. It's possible to have other crystalline growth growing in the body, but when you have the one that's in the heart and in the mind, when those frequencies come together and create that frequency of coherence, this is where the magic happens. Definitely. Makes sense. Absolutely. Very good. So this is still a question and answer for you guys for any of the days 1 through 5. And days 1 through 5, real quick, if you have any questions, because remember, those replays are going to be taken down this Wednesday. So you have until this Wednesday, if you haven't watch the replays. There's a ton of information. Read the comments, do the work, post in the homework threads. And so I think the next logical thing to do now would be, and should the person be here watching to get the scholarship? Or, you know what, I'm just going to leave it for you.
Well, of all the people that have been engaging and participating, I have 2 names of people that have been here every single day. And Rowan's one of them. So if he happens to, get it, then wish granted. He got it live. So let me get my little cup here.
So wait a second. Does that mean Rowan's the winner, or?
No, it's Rowan and Jenny of the 2
it's
people.
Between Rowan and Jenny.
Yeah. So my pendulum, I have a little amethyst.
Rowan and Jenny. You guys, thank you so much. You guys have been awesome with participating. And you know what? This shows us that you're ready to do the work. You're so ready to do the work. So awesome. Are you talking about the pineal gland? Yes, there is crystalline material in the pineal gland. Very good. Yeah, and it's the crystalline material that draws to it heavy metals. So that's why it's important to do heavy metal cleanses. And if that's even needed, if that is even needed. Very good. So do we have a winner between Rowan and Jenny? I can't wait.
We do. I had to clear my energy.
And while Monica's doing that, do you guys have any questions, whether you're watching it now or whether you're watching it later? Because we're going to be going through and answering any questions. We are also going to be live. I'm also going to be live again tomorrow at 11 a.m. here in the group to talk about the Transurfers Mastermind. The opportunity to join the mastermind will be open through next week. I'll be available to answer any of your questions. And I'm also available to have a call with you, a complimentary discovery call to see if this program is right for you. All right, so was that you're ready to announce?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Jenny W.
Jenny, are you here?
I use the pendulum. Jenny's not here.
Jenny's not here.
So Rowan,
because we were supposed to announce this yesterday, and we went through and looked at, and we had 2 that were head to head with participating, inviting friends, answering the homework thread, answering questions, all of that we looked at, because you know the 80-20 rule. There's 80% of us that are going to be all gung-ho in the beginning, like we were in the beginning, and then just kind of fizzle out. We want to work with the people who are going to go through to the end. They are the ones we want to definitely give heartfelt for an opportunity to work with us in the background on our Transurfers Mastermind. And I don't know if we have the link to that. If you want the link to the Transurfers Mastermind, maybe we can get that posted in here.
Just a second.
Yeah, and take a look and see if it's a match for you. You're going to look and see 2 options. There will be 2 options to pay in full. You can just pay for the whole thing at once. And I'm going to see if I can find it. I cannot find the link. So
I've got it posted.
Oh, perfect. It's already there. Look at that. It's already there. Very cool.
So you guys, this program is absolutely amazing, because how many times do you see yourself getting triggered by your pet peeves and your family and your friends and just everything that goes on around you? So that's what I love about this program, is it helps you hone into that awareness, exercise that awareness, and then open space for that to not happen anymore. With working with Jenny, like I said, I've been with her for 7 years, and that's for a pretty good reason, because I've grown that much, and she just gets me. She's like, oh, that's where you're having a problem. Oh, thank you. Now I don't have that problem anymore. Or if I do, I'm still exercising my awareness of when I am having that problem, and it's becoming less and less and less and less and less. Sometimes it takes a long time to get to the very bottom of that root for it not to happen anymore. And that's why we've created this to be 6 months, is because it does take time. It does take that need of community and that need for a stable foundation for you to have a safe place to come into, for this to happen, for this healing process to take place in a safe environment without judgments. Because I don't know about you guys, but how many times have you tried to go talk to a friend that you're like really passionate about, and then you kind of slink back because they're just giving you weird looks? Like, I've been there. I've been,
Where's your aluminum hat?
yeah. What are you talking about? Why are you wearing crystals all the time? Like, just, this is a perfectly safe community where we're not going to judge you because we're on this journey with you. We
Yes.
understand you and we support you because that's exactly what all of us need. We all need the support and the stability and the simplicity of coming to a place where you can just be like, oh
And
my
one thing
gosh, I
that
got
is
this.
lacking in our society is community. Uh,
Yes.
we're lacking community and being able to express ourselves authentically. And
Yes.
we tend to want to compare ourselves, judge others, and
And when you
compare others.
find,
And so, what we're going to be doing is we have a private Facebook group so that you have immediate access. And then we're going to be meeting regularly to do this group work together. And I want to share the beautiful landing page. I'm going to share my screen with you guys real quick. The beautiful landing page that Monica created. So here's the link. And again, this is a 6-month program because even Jesus went into the desert for 40 days. And so there's time and a precious area where grounding and rooting in your authentic self is the platform needed in order for you to move up within your own energy system. And so if this awakened life isn't what you thought, I have so many of you saying, I don't know what's going on. Things are happening so fast. Is it possible to become homeless when you're awakening? All of these things. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. Where's the bliss? What is going on? So if you're here in this group right now, it tells me you're open to learning about you. And that's what we do is we teach you how science and nature shows us, create this model, and then apply it to yourself. And how you apply it to yourself might be different how somebody else applies it to themselves. But we're doing this and we're including the principles of the mastermind. And so when we do this together, massive shifts happen. And so in all of our research, we're always looking for ways to, find these solutions to our problems. When we come into this space of knowingness, yes, the solutions show themselves to us. When we bring heart and mind into unity, this is when the solutions are shown to us. So isn't this beautiful landing page? So if you have any questions at all about what we're doing in the Transurfers Mastermind, I highly encourage you to check out the link, read through it, and if something doesn't jive or something you're not sure of, let's get on a call together. So I've made myself available all next week to get on a call with you, to talk with you, to see if this is for you. And then we have this energy exchange and working together. And you're not only accountable to me, but I am accountable to you. So there's this bridge that we're creating. And this is long lasting. These are shifts that you create. There's no going back. You're creating this and discovering this within you and learning how to shift your reality. And so it tells you a little bit more about me and all of that stuff if you want to learn more about me. And then why we brought together the Transurfers Mastermind. Now, many are here have never heard of reality transurfing. That's okay. But you're a transurfer if you understand how this energy moves and then apply it to yourself. Like we know waves come in and out, but you're a surfer if you go out to the wave and ride that wave. And so that's kind of what we're doing with this energy when we create what it is we want with the end in mind. And this is a mastermind principle that we begin to apply, as well as a reality transurfing principle, where it talks about creating a slide and activating the plates and lighting up the sector within the space of variations. We show you how to do that and get very clear on this. And so, how it works. you know, we're going to get these calls because stuff is going to come up. There are several who have been in the Honor Your Awakening 3-month program that have had experienced life-changing shifts. And so this is customized guidance. This is for you. This is not a one pattern that we put on everyone, but we start with the basic framework and then we build from there. And then you have the community you need to get the support underneath you to help you move through the second chakra, the third chakra, the heart chakra. And the train is going by. And then, of course, you're going to get customer service, superior support. We are here for you. And this is all inclusive. You're not only going to get access to this, but you're going to get access to every single one of the programs that we have created already to this point. And we have been creating some amazing programs for you. Here are the bonuses that you have. You have access to our self-care one-on-one course. You have access to our 10-day meditation challenge and access to our 3-day EFT workshop, the alchemy of developing your energetic boundaries. All of these, this is information for discovering this space within you. Very good. And then sign me up. Yeah, this is where you can sign up. This is where you start, and we're opening up this. So we want to open up the opportunity to come in, and the price and stuff is where it's at right now. We are going to be increasing the prices because we have to include all of these other things, but the prices will be going up. So I would love for you to get in on this so that you can step into being this change maker, whatever this is for you. We need you to step into this now, right now. Very good. Any questions about that? I'm going to check in with my very good.
Rowan asked if this is a longer version than of the 3-month program, and in a sense it is. The big difference here is that we've included every single course and workshop we've ever done, where we did not do that with the 3-month program. The 3-month program had the 10-day challenge and the EFT journey, which was a journal. Here you have literally everything. The 3-month program of Alchemy of Awakening, you have the EFT journey, you have the meditation journey, you have the empathic, developing your empathic boundaries. You literally have every course and workshop that we've ever done all in one spot.
Yeah, and the 3-month program, the framework of that is going to be included, but we're also including the mastermind principles. So yes, those two together, it's when we marry those two together, magic happens. It's kind of like when we married the chakra system with Maslow's hierarchy of need. Those two together, this is where magic happens. And so we might intellectually get some of these things, but we're going to get some clarity based on where we want to go from here. What target, aim, and purpose are you creating? And once you have that clarity, your boundaries are set up for you. You don't have to set up any boundaries. They're set up for you. This is the difference. And then you get very hyper-focused, and things happen in 6 months that can take someone 5 years to get through. And so this is why we include the mastermind principles along with the Transurfers building a model of nature and physics, and then applying that to the self, to ourself, and moving from this space. And so we're going to be also experimenting with creating custom meditations with the binaural beats. So if there's something somebody is working on in particular, we create a meditation for that, and everyone gets to work on it together. And this is where massive change happens. And it happens in the unseen metaphysical realm first. You feel it. You feel it. I hear my little partner in the background.
Sorry, she just woke up from a nap. I might go get her here in a second.
So hopefully that answered your question. Any other questions? Any questions about the Transformation Lab, days 1 through 5, the Energy 101 Lab? We had some wonderful questions and wonderful aha moments with that one. Pendulums versus penduluming. just those two concepts, an idea that the gateway, the brain, can understand and actually feel and observe happening. And with this, so many transformations and aha moments happened on that day. And then day 4, the alchemy of awakening, we had so many wonderful shifts happening on that day when you understood we're no longer spiritual bypassing. We're looking at our baggage, recognizing it, acknowledging it, and then letting it just be, transmuting that energy. So we're no longer feeding it and stuck in the cycle of it, in the complete circuit of it. Now we let go of it, allow it to process out of the circuit. So it's no longer creating shorts or blocks and preventing you or sabotaging you from moving forward. Okay, and then your results. You posted your results. We've had people that had as much of a 30-point result difference. 30 points in your total result difference. This is huge. Yes, I'm definitely interested. Yes, you're going to be invited to that, Rowan, as well. Very good. So I want to thank you, Monica, for being live on with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank
you guys for waiting for our technical. My computer crashed, so I had to go through and figure out there was a program running in the background that needed to be cleared. So that program was cleared, and then this was able to work so beautifully. So with that said, if there are no other questions, I'm just checking in. I know there's like a 20 or even a 30-second delay. So
I do have one more thing.
Yes.
Just one more exercise for everybody, especially in growing your awareness and training your awareness. When you're asking for things to come into you because you don't want other things, you have to celebrate those things coming into you. So a lot of the times we're like, oh, this is happening and I wish this didn't happen anymore. Well, what is happening for you that you do like? And celebrate those things. So definitely, learn to divert your attention by celebrating the things that you are thankful for and that are happening good for you. Even if it's as small as you woke up today. Like if you're having that bad of a day, yes, I woke up today. Thank you so much. Show me how I can do things differently to make tomorrow work in my favor. Whatever you need to say, just make sure you celebrate even the littlest of things.
I love that.
Train that awareness.
It's so easy to go down that vortex of, oh, poor me, nothing's happening right for me. It's so easy to kind of go down that toilet drain spiraling. Yeah. But one thing, it's perfect because then you can list 3 to 5 things right now that you're grateful for. Yes. I'm grateful right now I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful for fill in the blank. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. List 5 things and you can find 5 things.
Oh, yes.
And then list those things. And that right there will start to shift your vibration. Because remember, we have to be it for it to come to us first. Yes. So we have to be it first. You got to step into it first. So you're either stepping to a, oh, poor me, depressed person, and more of that. You're going to complete circuits of that. And it's going to be drawn to you. This is the karmic wheel. And this is where free will comes in. When you're able to wake up and go, oh, wow, I'm going with that spiral. Stop it. What are 5 things that I'm grateful for? Look around, become awake, aware of your experience, and then start the spiral up. This is where free will comes in, and this is where most of us are asleep.
Yes. So let's wake that up, start training the awareness, even as simply as that. One thing, a silly, simple thing that I celebrated yesterday, on my birthday, was that my husband came home from work and he instantly brought me a glass of wine. Yes, thank you for all that support. Thank you for the love that was done out of love. Yes, I'm ready to receive more of that. Even if it's not done to you, if you do it for somebody else, leaving your quarter in the cart at Aldi's. Here we have, you put the quarter in to be able to take the cart, so you're more enticed to bring it back. In my community, we have rows of people that leave the quarters for people who just don't happen to have one, or people who need both their hands because they have kids. So just even simple things. Yes, I was able to leave that for somebody else to be able to, enjoy and experience simplicity. So awesome. Whether it's coming to you, whether you're giving it out, celebrate it.
Pay it forward. Don't expect it back.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of us, we want that instant gratification, or we want that instant recognition. Oh, look
Yes.
what you did. You're a good person. But the best place to create this inner space, this inner paying it forward and not expecting anything in return, this creates a space of gratitude automatically. And when we move, this space of gratitude almost automatically brings heart and mind into this space of coherence.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes, daily gratitude is important. Yes, I was definitely interested in that. Very good. All right, so if there is nothing else, thank you so much for being on this journey. Remember, the videos are going to be available until Wednesday. Let us know in the comments what your biggest takeaway of today was. And also send me off a message if you'd like to schedule some time to find out if the Transurfers Mastermind is for you.
Or
And
me.
yeah, you can also contact Monica, and we're introducing another right-hand man. His name is Eric Smith, so you can also contact Eric. And so either one of us, we will be available to answer your questions while the doors are open so that you can sign up for this amazing program. We are so excited to be bringing this to you. So with that said, thank you, thank you, thank you.